Welcome to Cooking with Margie. This is the last official week of autumn, and to celebrate the end of this beautiful season, I'm going to prepare a savory pumpkin sauce and toss it in some tortellini. So I'm going to start out with 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and I've already got my electric skillet heated up, so you just need a medium skillet for this. We've got 1 cup of chopped up leeks. I finally chopped them, and so this is what a leek looks like. I cut off the top part. They really do get tall and large. They're really sort of a refined onion and have a mild flavor. So that won't overpower the pumpkin in our sauce. So just cook this up for a couple of minutes to get it tender. And I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. Of course, I like to add minced garlic and onion to almost everything. It's really a good start. So with a pumpkin sauce, you don't necessarily have to use pumpkin, because pumpkin is in the winter squash family. So you could use any other type of winter squash that you like, that's the sweet variety, like an acorn squash or a butternut or a delicata squash. So at the end of fall, there are still plenty of those items around, because they do last. You can store them for a couple of months after harvest. So they'll last a good bit into the winter, which is really nice. Okay, this looks like it's getting pretty tender. So at this point, I'm going to add some white wine to this. So I've got 1 cup of dry white wine. I guess you could add sweet if you prefer sweetness. And so I'm just going to let this simmer down. It's called reducing it. So we're going to have the alcohol cook off, and still it will add a lot of flavor. So the thing about the pumpkin is it's really a nice vegetable that most people, they just associate eating it with pie or something sweet. So there's savory ways to enjoy it as well. The simple way, of course, is to have a can of pumpkin. I mean, that works totally well. Not pumpkin pie puree, but pumpkin puree. Because some of them, they add some seasonings, right? So we just want the plain puree. Or if you wanted to puree your own from the squash or a baking pumpkin, that would work well. Just as well. It would just be a bit more work. So that's simmering down. And we've got some savory, warm types of spices that we're going to add today, including some thyme, which I just love thyme leaves. And I'm going to have 1 teaspoon of thyme. If you add fresh thyme, you can add more, right? Because the dried herbs are always more condensed. So usually it's 3 times as much fresh herbs to dried herbs. I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, which we often think of cinnamon going well with pumpkin. And a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, which is a fabulous spice. You can see that wine is nicely cooking down. So we've got some freshly ground pepper here. And I think the freshly ground is always better than just plain pepper. Just tastes fresher. But plain pepper will work as well, if that's what you have. So just however much you like of that. Okay, so at this point, we've almost reduced all of that wine. So that's just leaving some great flavor. It smells really nice too. So I have some tomato paste, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And tomato paste just adds a lot of richness. I always like to add tomato paste even to my spaghetti sauce with the tomato sauce just because of the richness that it brings. So we're gonna, this was really a sort of a vegan sauce. Not that you have to be vegan, but if you are, this is vegan friendly because I'm going to use vegetable broth. Using 3/4 of a cup of vegetable broth. You could use chicken broth as well if you wanted to. I got the vegetable broth that's low sodium. So it has much less sodium than regular, as the name says. The store broths really do have a lot of sodium. So you can always add your own salt. That's what I like to do. I might not want as much salt as what is in the store variety. So it gives you that option. Plus, eating too much salt is not really good for your blood pressure. So, okay, so we've got our pumpkin now. I have 1 cup of pumpkin. Good bit. This pumpkin is pretty much like eating carrots. It's a wonderful vegetable, and it has the same nutrition. It has the beta carotene. That's what gives it the orange color. It's a powerful antioxidant that protects your cells and keeps you healthy. So yeah, that's a good thing, right? All right, that's looking nice. Okay, so the only other thing I have to add to this is just a little bit of milk. And then we can test it for the salt. So I've got 1 ounce of milk. That'll just sort of smooth it out. Oh, there we have it. Just let that simmer for a moment. Looks really nice. Real simple. A simple way to celebrate in fall or beyond. Okay, so you could serve this by itself with the tortellini. Certainly the tortellini, I'm going to serve it with cheese tortellini, so that's a nice protein. Kind of a full meal, right? Or we could add some protein with it, which a lot of people like to do. So I have some pork that I cooked up last night, some pork tenderloin. So I was thinking it would go really nicely with this dish. Warmed up. Just heated that up a little bit. So that pork tenderloin, I cooked it with some apple, which we know apple and pumpkin go great together, right? So I've got these medallions of pork. I'm going to place those on our plate with our apples. So that'll look really nice. And we've got our tortellini. Go ahead and add my sauce to that. So this is enough sauce for probably 6 or 8 servings. Just kind of toss that. However much, some people like more sauce than others. Nice and bright. And we'll put that next to our pork. We could also have a nice green vegetable with that. That would look nice. Add some more color, all right? So I also have a little Parmesan cheese, so top it off with Parmesan cheese. And since I don't have a green vegetable, I'm just going to add a little bit of parsley. Certainly there's plenty of nutrition here, just to make it look beautiful. Okay, so there you have it. We do need to test it for the salt. I didn't do that, but we can always add that. So I think this is a great way for us to finish out fall, the beautiful season. Appreciate that before moving in to the holidays. So I hope that you try the recipe.